Okay, trigger warning everyone. We are watching another true crime video. This is on Coffee House Crime. And I will warn you guys that this channel is very sympathetic towards the victims, so there'll be a lot of focus on the victims of the crime. So major trigger warning. And the title of the video is When Cheating Turns into Murder. The harrowing case of, and I feel really bad because I actually don't know how to pronounce his name, but the harrowing case of JD Panayotu in Port Elizabeth, which is, this case outraged Port Elizabeth. Where's Port Elizabeth?
She was described as the love
Anyway,
of her life.
So trigger warning. This is a true crime. The people in this video are real, and just please be aware of that. And if you don't, again, I'm just going to keep saying it all day, if you don't feel mentally in the right place for something like this right now, I'd highly recommend just not watching it. And yeah, it's a trigger warning. I don't know what this case entails. I hope there's no blood in this video. Shit. I really doubt there'd be blood in this video, right? I really doubt there'd be blood. Apparently, blood is against terms of service, which is something I really didn't know. What's up, Lelia? How you doing today? Subtitles, please. I got you guys. Has anyone in chat watched this video on Coffee House Crime? Can you confirm? Is there blood in this video? Yes or no? I'm really nervous because I've seen other streamers reacting to true crime, and there was definitely blood in the videos. So I don't know what the deal with that is, but apparently it's TOS, so I need to be very careful. Just gonna really quickly skim through. Look away, chat. You don't want any spoilers.
Felt in the wind. But tragically, these are the words spoken by her very
If there was blood, it would be taken down on YouTube. I don't think it's the same rules for YouTube, because there's definitely true crime documentaries I've watched on YouTube that 100% have blood in. Thank you for the follows. Appreciate it.
My name is Adrian, and welcome back to Coffee House Crime. Today we're heading down...
Oh, sorry, the video is probably quiet because I turned it down for Daily Dose because it was really loud.
South Africa to look at the case of Jade Panayotu, who was found dead in the year of 2015. This is a very sad story about a married woman who wasn't even aware.
Sorry, I'm just going to be ready for the pause if I need to and skip.
That she was locked into. But just before today's case, I wanted to let you know that I post both solved and unsolved cases here on a weekly basis. So if true crime is your kind of thing, then please consider subscribing to Coffee House Crime. So pull up a seat, grab a coffee and sit back. This is the case of Jade Panayotu.
Jade Panayotu. Jade Panayotu.
Today's case takes us south of the equator to South Africa. More specifically, the city formerly known as Port Elizabeth. I say formerly because earlier this year, in February 2021, Port Elizabeth was renamed to Gqeberha, the Xhosa name for Bakens River. Officials changed the city's name to Gqeberha, the Xhosa name for...
Wow, has he learned to do like click... Sorry, I actually don't know what that's called, but like the click pronunciations of things?
River. 21, Port Elizabeth was renamed to Gqeberha, the Xhosa name for Bakens River. Officials changed the city's name, along with other cities in South Africa, to bring back dignity to the black communities living in cities with former colonial names.
I was saying about this channel in particular, though, this guy, and maybe his team, I don't know. I think he just does it all on his own. He is very... like respectful in the things he does, so again I guess that's just a good sign of it.
But with all events to this case happening prior to 2021, and for my ability to pronounce things right, I'll be using the city's former name, Port Elizabeth. Apart from a wide range of coastal attractions that bring both domestic and international travellers to Port Elizabeth, the city also offers a huge selection of eateries, shopping venues and bars. It's also the only city in South Africa to boast the Big Seven within its boundaries. That means you can find all of South Africa's largest animals here. The whale, shark,
I would
leopard,
love to go and visit,
lion,
like, well,
buffalo, rhino,
lots of them.
and of course, elephant. The city of Port Elizabeth
Love to
sports
see
a
wild
population
elephants.
of 1.2
Jesus, it'd be
million,
so incredible.
up 200,000 since the year of 2004. And in the year of 2004, one of those living in Port Elizabeth was Chris Panayiotou, an 18-year-old man. He had just about finished his education at school and was looking to kickstart some efforts into his father's small business empire. His father owned several stores around Port Elizabeth, including Bambi Snack Bar, located on Market Street. Chris himself was described as a hard and dedicated worker, with a keen business sense. It was during the year of 2004, while at a friend's gathering, that a pretty face caught his eye. He met Jade Ings, who was also 18 at the time. The two started talking, and almost immediately they hit it off. The two began dating and soon after fell in love. Jade was described as a fun-loving, sweet-natured young woman. She had a lot of love to give, a trait that would inspire her to one day become a teacher. And the next year in 2005, she enrolled into university to take up a degree in teaching. Throughout the next few years, Jade's and Chris's relationship would grow, as did Jade's academic knowledge and Chris's business. During her time at university, Chris opened both his first and his second business. He opened a local grocery store in Algoa Park, commissioning it to be part of the OK Grocery franchise. And his second business, pretty much right next door, was a restaurant and cocktail bar that he creatively named Infinity. Fast forward to the year 20...
I did not put enough ice in my iced coffee. It's like not even cold. I put so much ice in there, but I guess it's just too hot today because it's still almost like lukewarm. I'll be playing Subnautica tomorrow in the subathon tomorrow. 100% I'll be playing it tomorrow.
2011, and things were looking more serious for the young professional couple. Not only had Jade graduated from university, but now she also had a job lined up at a local elementary school. And even bigger news, but Chris had finally proposed to Jade, the two now officially engaged. Saying that, they moved in together. But things didn't stay sweet for long, because unknown to Jade, Chris was actually having an affair. Back at his grocery store, about 2 years prior, Chris had hired a younger woman who went by the name of Chanel Coots. And while at first things were strictly business between the two, by the year of 2012 that had changed. The two started a secret love affair, and while they'd keep it secret...
I'll never understand why people get into relationships if they don't want to be in a relationship. Like, why don't you just break up with your partner if you want to cheat on them? Like, why would you not just be single? I don't understand it. Is it because they're just really selfish and don't want to be on their own? I've never understood, like, if you want to act like a single person, just be single. If you want to sleep with people and date loads of people, just be single, right?
Little signs of affection that colleagues would suspiciously pick up.
Why be stressed? Just end your
In
relationship.
secrecy, the two would spend nights together at local hotels, and eventually, during the nights that Jade was away, Chanel would even stay at his place. It's not known exactly how we found out, but a few
It's just
months into the
selfish, that's
affair,
all it is,
Chris's
isn't it?
father,
Just
Costa
selfish people.
Panayiotou, became aware of the situation. Costa was enraged to find out the news. By now, he had known Jade for over 8 years, and he loved her very much as a future daughter-in-law. She was loyal, hardworking, and kind, and he saw the enormous potential in her. It was on this basis that Costa threatened his own son, that he would disinherit him if he carried on with the affair, or if he left Jade for Chanel. Costa was a successful businessman within Port Elizabeth, and to Chris, this was his lifeline, because one day Chris would be sure to inherit all of his father's hard work. So after their messy argument had ended, Chris reassured his father Costa that he was no longer seeing Chanel. But this was actually untrue, and in further secrecy, the two continued on to have their affair. All in the meantime, Jade had no idea what was going on. Fast forward to the year 2013.
God, it's so
and
beautiful
it was finally
there.
time. In
It's
June,
stunning,
Chris and Jade
isn't it?
officially tied the knot, the two formally
me
becoming
of, like, the
Mr. and Mrs. Panayiotou. From the outside, Chris and Jade were a couple that many envied, a strong businessman and a loving teacher. It was, however, during this period that circumstances outside of their marriage were changing. It was good news for Jade. She was hired as a teacher to work at Riebeck College in the nearby area of Uitenhage. But for Chris, his situation was going the other way. Strong local competition as well as lesser appetite than expected meant...
Why do these trees look like really bad graphics? Wait, so did the... Wait, why is some of this picture like high quality and the trees just look like they've been copied in from like a 1998 version of The Sims? And then like some of the cars just look like they've actually sunk into the ground.
That profits at his grocery store,
But this is
and
like
his
all really
cocktail bar
crystal
were
clear
not
quality.
looking so healthy. In fact, financial figures were even in the red for some months. The shaky financials would cause Chris further grief, as technically he was looking after 2 women at the same time. He'd treat Jade to a few luxuries, but the majority of his gift money was going to his mistress on the side, Chanel. This included a Ralph Lauren handbag, an expensive watch, GHD straighteners, a large contribution to a new car, and a
This is such an odd picture. You guys think this is like after the crime happened? Because it's like a paparazzi style image with the handbag and the phone, but like some kind of work uniform. That's such a strange picture.
And don't forget about those nights at hotels either. Chris was even buying gifts for Chanel's best friend, Cap, in order to keep her sweet and therefore remain quiet about the affair. All of these details were greatly contributing towards Chris's crumbling bank
Goth
account.
boy click.
Nevertheless, he
Enigma, thank you so much for the 6 months. Says, oh hey, it's been 6 months already. Very happy to have found such an amazing community. I appreciate that. Can we get some love in the chat, please?
wanted to make
What's
things
up,
work,
Enigma? Thank
so
you.
he added even more hours to his already busy work schedule. But as the years ticked by from 2013 to 2015, Chris became less and less available
Let's
to his
go,
own
chat.
wife. He was still putting all the effort in to try and get his business back off the ground. And his extra reason to be at the grocery store was still there too. Jade felt this, and very quickly she became a lonely woman.
Oh.
Confiding in her friends, she felt Chris had no time for her. He was always out of the house, and emotionally, he was absent when home. She would normally manage to force Chris to come home for dinner before he headed back out to work, and even made excuses to drop by and say hello to him in the evenings. But it wasn't enough, and by September 2014, she seemed to be at breaking point.
Bless her.
On September the 21st, she wrote a letter to herself that described her feelings. Condensed, she wrote, "All I ever wanted is to be loved, fully and completely. I know that love is not what it seems to be in the movies, but I don't feel the love I dream about. I am jealous when I see people living the life I so desperately long for. I want a normal life, a husband that comes home at a normal time, has a normal job, and makes time for his wife and family. Somebody that doesn't hide, lie, or cover up.
This
Always
is so
respects
sad.
and puts his wife first. I don't know if I can live like this. I don't know how much more I can take. Why can't I have the normal happy life? Why am I not the apple in my husband's eye? Why does he hide so much from me?
Oh.
And why is it impossible to communicate with him? I feel as though I do not have a heart. It is torn and shredded and full of holes." The letter is enough to describe how Jade really felt about her own
That's so
marriage.
sad.
She loved Chris a lot, and all she wanted to do was spend time with him. And this was no secret either.
It's amazing
because
how
around-
like we can love people that much that we'll just put up with so much just in like the hopes that they'll just change or love us back. It's crazy, isn't it?
Jade
Crazy.
and Chris knew that she was lonely. In fact, when Chris asked Jade's best friend what she wanted for her birthday, she replied with, "She just wants to spend time with you, Chris." Chris did understand the trouble, but he was too busy trying to keep his businesses afloat. He also had other things on his mind, more specifically, another woman. And then, in the early morning of the 21st of April 2015, Jade Panayiotou disappeared. The 21st of April 2015 was a Tuesday, a usual day for Jade to work.
Oops.
She was expected into a job at Rebec College that day, located about 40 minutes by car from her home in Stellan Glen, just west of Port Elizabeth. Jade would usually car share with her colleague and best friend Sri Swanepoel into work, and the plan today was exactly like it had been hundreds of times before. Jade would walk outside her home at 6:15 in the morning and wait outside her gated community for Charisse to pick her up. But when Charisse arrived, Jade was nowhere to be found. Calls to her mobile phone went unanswered, and a doorbell to her house led to a dead end too. And when the property was eventually checked with no luck, serious concern started to slowly boil over. It was in this moment that Charisse finally called the police. By 10 AM, a missing persons alert was posted on social media, and soon the news of her disappearance started to spread too. Police would launch a massive search that very same day, including the use of the flying squad and several canine units. But as the sun set, they were still none the wiser on her whereabouts. Jade's family would offer 50,000 rands as a reward to any information that could lead to her safe return, and by nightfall that reward had tripled to 150,000 rand. Many people took to social media to help try and find Jade. The hashtag #FindJade started to trend, and throughout the night that would be used extensively. But just as search efforts began to pick up for the first full day of searching at around 10 AM, tragic news came in.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
An officer
Holy
reported
shit.
to his team that, with the assistance of his canine unit, he had found a body.
Oh no.
It was located in a bushy area close to a gravel road just outside of Kwanabushle. And sadly, forensics would quickly confirm that the body did belong to that of Jade Panayotu.
Oh no.
She was fully clothed and had been shot 3 times, 2 to the
So
back and
unfair.
1 to the head. Her bank cards, along with her jewellery, were all missing. Family members who had rushed to the scene were devastated to hear the news. Friends and family were in tears, Jade's sister almost collapsing, and Chris was there too. When the news of her death broke out to her school, both students and colleagues mourned the loss of their kind, nurturing teacher. Heartache extended far and wide throughout South Africa, and with the case's coverage over Twitter and Facebook, pain was felt at an international level too. But one of the greatest and most concerning questions about her death was still to be answered. Why did Jade have to die? Considering the nature around her death, it didn't make much sense. While it was learned that her possessions were taken off of her body, murder is quite an extreme precaution to take for this kind of crime. And the very next day, on the 23rd of April, police released 2 surveillance images of a person of interest. It was quickly learned that on the day of Jade's death, her credit cards had been used on 2 separate occasions.
What?
And the ATM cameras picked up these 2 images. But no one close to Jade knew who they were. Exactly 1 week after her death, family and friends of Jade laid her to rest at Mater Dei Catholic Church in Newton Park. Her students were part of the hundreds of people who came to express their sorrows and their goodbyes. All of her loved ones were in attendance, and the funeral's emotions peaked around Chris's moving and poetic tribute to his deceased wife. But this is where things start to look a little shaky for Chris. The tribute that he had made for his wife Jade was good.
I was
really
gonna
good.
say, like, surely this is something to do with the husband. Like, there's no fucking way that this is just a random killing, right? I was waiting for it to, like, turn back on the husband. Like, even if there's someone using the credit cards, it doesn't, like, it seems like that person that was using the credit card at the ATM would not be the killer, because surely they wouldn't be that stupid. It's like they've been given the credit card, or they're just, they found it or something, like, or it's maybe like a hitman or like something like that, right? Hired someone to kill, because there's just no way, right, that husband isn't involved.
In fact, it was so
Surely.
well made that it was a little strange that he managed to polish off something so well during his time of despair. And that's because the script wasn't actually his. In fact, at the time, if you went on to Google and typed in wife eulogy, it would come up with another tribute by Charles Atkins to his own deceased wife.
Oh my god. This guy just Googled like a fucking... Oh my god. This person Googled... That is like raging sociopath, right? That's like raging psychopath. That's fucking vile.
And the similarities are
How could you be so stupid as well?
painfully lazy. While this was a very lousy thing for Chris to do, it didn't necessarily mean that he was guilty of anything. He could have just simply been too upset to make his own script. Saying that, it did raise eyebrows around him
It's still
and his
weird.
own
I'm sorry.
authenticity.
Even if you're too upset to write a script, which is completely understandable, I'd like to say, like, fair enough. You're dealing with all that. You might not want to write. You might not want to write about it and deal with the realization of it and all that stuff. I don't think you'd go on Google and just steal someone else's if that's the way you felt. I think you'd just say something very short, or like... That's not
to
right.
his own wife.
That's not right.
But little did he know that there were other things going on in the background, and hour by hour, the noose around Chris's neck was tightening. One day before the funeral, police actually arrested a man in connection to Jade's murder based off a tip from an undisclosed source. The man arrested went by the name of Latondo Sione, who just happened to be the bouncer to Chris's own nightclub.
Oh.
Allegations had started circulating that Latondo may have helped orchestrate the crime. And while in custody, Latondo must have got cold feet. He crumbled, confessing everything to police.
Oh my god.
He claimed that Chris had asked him to hire a hit on his own wife, and while Latondo wouldn't do it himself, he did know a friend or two. The tip led to a massive
Fucking
breakthrough in the
gross.
case, but they still had no evidence linking Chris to the murder. They needed something more to prove that Chris wanted his own wife dead. This is a very heavy accusation, and so they hatched up a plan. They decided to release Latondo from custody under one special condition. He would now have to carry out an undercover mission and secretly record Chris and get him to admit that he was involved in his wife's own murder. In response, they would reduce his sentence, and so on that note, Latondo agreed. He called Chris the next day, and it worked.
This is just another one of those cases where it's just like, how can anyone ever think the answer, like the easiest option is to kill someone or get them killed? This is just like nonsensical. It's just like, what the fuck are you thinking? What is wrong with you? And why would you think you're going to get away with it when it's the same shit again and again?
Why?
I don't know. Like, Babala called me and then he told me, like, police were there at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, everything now is changing now.
But why are the police after you?
That's why I don't know. I think there's an informer somewhere, somehow. You know?
Where are they going to?
I don't know. They didn't tell me. Because I even changed my SIM card. You know?
Yeah, but you need to change it again now.
Yeah,
So you need to stop phoning me.
yeah, after this, we're gonna stop. Like,
Don't phone me or SMS me.
so what's going on was
I don't know, bro.
this thing. I didn't see that it's gonna be like this.
Yeah.
How much is this?
Plus minus 5.
How much is
What did they ask you?
Fucking questions.
Eh?
Fucking questions.
Tell me.
Nothing serious was,
Did they ask you if you were involved?
yeah, sort of something like that.
So what did you say?
Yeah, no, I lost their way though. Those are stupid ones.
So where did they take you to? Did you take your phone anywhere?
That
No,
phone?
the other phone.
Yeah, I destroyed.
Did you?
Yeah, he told me to destroy it. Then I destroyed it.
Yes.
Yeah,
And the SIM card and everything.
everything. I'm not using.
Did you throw it away?
Yes, I'm not using Vodacom now. You see,
Okay.
I'm using this phone.
This is
they
completely
didn't
off
ask-
topic, but I really like this is like completely nothing to do with anything that's going on the screen, so sorry about that. But I remember a while ago some of my friends went to South Africa and they all came back and they were all saying brew all the time, like as like bro, you know, like friend, brew, my brew. And I actually really like that word. I really like it. Not that I like these people, obviously.
Ask anything about me.
This is crazy though, that it's like he's gone undercover to try and get him to confess on camera.
Or if I'm involved with anything.
Yeah, but I haven't. They asked you.
Eh?
Haven't they asked you yet?
Yes, they asked me, but now you've been phoning me all day and they're tracing my phone, don't know.
So
I have to tell them you phoned me. Otherwise they're gonna think I'm involved.
yeah.
So you need to destroy that phone now. The phone and the SIM card, my boy. Both.
That of the police that are coming to me.
And I swear my life I didn't say it, but they're obviously seeing who I've been phoning. They are tracking my phone and every number I phoned. They've investigated my family too.
Oh no, what Caesar did?
Somebody said something.
Because this is like a murder thing now. It's not like a robbery or something.
But that's what I said to you. It became a kidnapping and then a murder instead of just making it a robbery outside the house.
Yeah, German shit. Yeah.
We need to go hide in Jeffries for a while
Yeah.
and keep quiet. So I'm going to say you must destroy your phone now, ne?
Yeah.
And the SIM card, and I'm going to say you told me you're going to East London. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be
East
okay as long as they
London?
never know about us, Tando. There's about 5.
Is there an East London there?
Because I'm all out now. This thing's cost me a lot of money. The family's also looking at me.
So that's
Yes. Okay. No, because these boys made it big. I told you to let them do it outside the house and take the bags and the rings, and then they didn't take the watch or anything.
They just left everything.
They just left everything there. You see, so it looks like a hit now. So
Oh,
they're
it's a big
after me,
city
and
in
it's
South
like, I'll
Africa?
meet you just like this in front of people, Tando. Okay.
Is there like a South London and a West London too, or is that just the name of the city is East London?
Cheers.
Police arrested Chris
What a
2 hours later.
fucking
that night.
awful person.
Events around Jade's case would continue to unfold, and eventually highlighted 3 more suspects to the case: Sizwazake Vamazonke,
It's just the name.
Sinatemba Nanembe, and Solane Sebeko. And while Chris denied any involvement to his wife's death, the alleged story was that he had asked his bodyguard to organise a hit, who then hired 3 hitmen to do the work.
Fuck me, man.
Chris gave the instruction to do it early in the morning at 6:30, while Jade would be waiting for a colleague to pick her up for work.
It's absolutely
He
disgusting.
requested that they stage the murder as if it were a robbery, by contracting the kill right outside the gates of Stellan Glen, and stealing all of her possessions from her body. The date for Jade's contract was originally set to be 1 day earlier, on the 20th of April 2015. But while Chris's hitmen were mustering up their courage for the job, Jade's friend Charisse actually appeared, and so they decided that they'd do it another day. Apparently, this delay enraged Chris a lot. He wanted his wife dead as soon as possible, and so he demanded that it happened the next day. On the 21st of April 2015, Jade appeared outside her community gates shortly after 6:15 AM, and unknown to her at the time, the 3 hitmen were there too. They were in a hired vehicle just several meters down the road. The trio decided to change their plans along the way, however. They didn't want any witnesses of the murder. So instead,
How could you ever love someone, even if you don't love them anymore? How could anyone have ever been like a big part of your life? A big, big part of your life, and you love them and you have loads of memories with them. How could you ever, like, even if things weren't really sour, which they didn't here. Well, obviously they did, but Jade had done nothing wrong at any point, as far as we know. Like, nothing. There's nothing here that suggests that she did anything wrong apart from get cheated on. Why, in any way, how could you get them killed?
instead of killing her on the spot, they would kidnap her, take her somewhere private, and
Literally, all she wanted was for him to love her.
then complete their contract. Jade found herself in the back of a hired vehicle, where she was then driven 20 miles northwest to Lower.
But even though, like, chat, you're saying, like, oh, it's the money, and I understand what you're saying, and I can understand that obviously a psychopath would think that way. Oh, I don't want to lose money, I'll just kill them and I won't lose any money, or I'll whatever. But, like, surely they have to weigh in the thought of being caught and, like, losing your fucking life and getting life in prison and getting someone killed and you lost your whole life and all your money. Like, how does that not weigh up in that? It's
Location outside.
But I think obviously because they're a sociopath, quite likely, I suppose, and narcissistic too. I guess they think that, again, like Chris Watts, they're so fucking smart that they'll just get away with it all. Even though it's like seems so obvious immediately from an outsider's perspective.
KwaNobuhle. The drive would take about 30 minutes to get there. She was then dragged out of the car and shot 3 times, dying instantly upon the 3rd bullet. The killers then drove to a nearby ATM and withdrew 1,500 rand, the equivalent of $100. A second attempt was made again later that day, but due to a PIN being incorrectly entered, payment was withheld, both attempts capturing one of her killers on camera. The magistrate's court would trial all 4 men together, excluding Chris's bouncer, with thanks to his plea bargain. But mysteriously, before the trial would even begin, one of Chris's hitmen would suddenly die, leaving the remaining 2, along with Chris, to face the judge. Strangely, Sizwazake Vamazonke, who had died while on leave from prison to be in hospital, had previously made claims that he was being assaulted by police officers in prison. But police denied such allegations, and later he died after slipping into a coma. His death would stop nothing, however, because on the 11th of October 2015, the trial against Chris and his 2 hitmen would begin. Prosecutors argued that the motive for the murder was that Chris could not keep up with paying for both his wife and his mistress, and so his wife had to go. Meanwhile, Chris's defense would argue that he had a heart of gold, and he would never do such a thing. In fact, he had apparently just bought Jade and himself a new home, so why would he kill her? The motive was supposedly just not there.
There's literally video evidence. There's video evidence of him in the car with the person he hired to fucking get a hitman. What are they talking about? What are they fucking talking about? Yeah, chat, please feel free to patoot as much as you fucking like right now, because this whole thing is disgusting again.
Tal Coots would also take the stand at trial and spoke about the...
Someone said, I think someone in the chat said 70% of murders in South Africa don't get solved or don't get caught or something. I don't know if that's true, but that was...
expensive gifts that Chris had given her. She also
chat, just spit everywhere. If that's the defense lawyers as well, just spit all over the back of their heads too, honestly. Just saying he has a heart of gold and all this fucking bullshit. Just spit all over them all.
Confirmed that she had slept over at Chris's townhouse when Jade was away, and of their cheeky nights together.
Oh wait, is that the mistress?
At local hotels. But the secret
guys, don't spit on him, he has a heart of gold.
recording of Chris took the spotlight for incriminating evidence, and if that wasn't enough, it was discovered that phone calls between Chris's bouncer and his hitmen were made seconds before GPS coordinates of the hitmen's phones landed outside Jade's property. ATM mugshots were also picked up, as were the GPS coordinates of the hired vehicle, which matched the path that would have been taken between Jade's home and the location of Jade's body. Following this, along with a myriad of other details, on the 2nd of November 2017, which was also Chris's 31st birthday, Chris Panayiotou was found guilty of the murder of his wife, Jade Panayiotou.
We have the highest crime against women and children in the world? South Africa? Really? I actually didn't know that. I really hope things get better.
It was also learned that Chris was in the process of acquiring a 2.2 million rand loan, which would mean that it would be impossible to keep both his wife and his mistress happy. The judge also concluded that Chris regretted marrying Jade, and he killed his wife to cut down on his ever-increasing debt. As a result of his heartless and brutal actions, the judge showed Chris no mercy, and sentenced the man to life in prison. Sinatemba Nanembe also received life in prison for Jade's murder, and Solani Sebeko also received 15 years in prison for conspiracy to commit murder. Chris's bouncer Lutando Sioni still awaits his full sentencing. And regardless of how long each involved man now faces, it could never be as bad as Jade's demise, who must have been terrified in her final moments, before eventually being killed behind the motives of abandonment, betrayal, and greed.
Oh, it's just so awful.
Jade was all around
So
a good person.
fucking awful.
She was described to have a heart of gold, and her dedication to her causes and people were humbling and sincere. She was feisty, enthusiastic, and loyal.
I feel like for the sake of the video, as much as I love this guy and I say how, I suppose
One of her students as a limited edition, she had a positive attitude, a bright personality, and a beautiful smile to match. She deserved so much more in life. And in the end, it was
So
her very own
much
husband
more.
that sold her entire life for a bounty of 80,000 rand, the equivalent of about $5,500.
Fuck.
2 years later, on December the 9th, 2019, Chris's father, Costa Panayiotou, who was against Chris's affair, was tragically gunned down and killed outside of his own shop. Costa was shot multiple times while closing up his shop for the night, and then his car stolen. And while his murder doesn't seem linked to the case of Chris and Jade whatsoever, it's another awful and unnecessary death to this story. This was another really tragic case to cover, one that has left 2 families entirely destroyed, all down to the actions of a selfish man who put his own pride and money above his wife's life. I hope Chris Panayiotou spends the rest of his life behind bars, full of regret and sorrow. Thank you again for watching another case today by Coffee House Crime.
Okay, chat, look, all true crime is heavy. All true crime is heavy, but we watched some very heavy ones today, so, I hope you guys are okay. I can't. Those were all very, very heavy. I think.
If you found this video interesting.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna talk about his YouTube channel now. So freaking hell! All right, a couple of daily doses before I end the stream. We got to end on a high. All right, chat. We got to end on a happy note.
Hello everyone, this is your daily dose of internet. This is what a solar eclipse looks like from a plane.
Have you guys seen this one yet or not? Have you guys seen this one yet or not? That was actually perfect. You guys watch this one? Alright, I want to watch a couple. I'm going to watch...
Hello everyone.
Okay, I need to get off in like 2 minutes, but I'm going to watch a couple of these with you before I do. I want to watch a couple of these. This, like...
This is your...
Watching videos with you, chat, has been so fun. I hope you guys have really enjoyed watching videos with me too, because I love watching videos with you. Marsha, thank you so much for the 3 months. Appreciate it. Says lots of love, Koji. Lots of love right back at you. I have really enjoyed watching videos with you guys today, and it's been a 4.5-hour stream, and it has literally gone like that. It's gone in seconds. So I'm definitely going to do more of this, because I've been trying to think. Like, I want to. I told you guys, once this house move is fully out the way, which it almost is, and once this freakish heat wave is gone, then I'll be able to do much longer streams again, because I'm really wanting to go hard with the streaming at the moment, and it's so frustrating that just feels like life is getting in the way so much at the moment, but it is what it is. I want to go hard with the streaming, so this will be a great way to do longer streams. Like, I'd love to start my streams earlier when I don't feel like gaming, and this is perfect. We can just watch videos together and get ready. Steve has fixed his hair. All right.
Oh, wow. Wait, this is interesting.
Oh, bruv, it's not my
A
fault.
4v4 Royal Fumble?
I think we got here at a bad time, but God, he looks so cute today. Wait, we've got it. Where we paused, we've got it. He looks like he looks like my auntie. But he looks like he'd be a really good aunt, you know? The aunt you could go to for anything. A cup of tea and some biscuits and a good old chat. A good old, what do they call it? Good old nose, nolly. What's that word? Chinwag! A good old chinwag and a cup of tea and biscuits, and oh, Steve would have a biscuit tin full of delightful things, you know, as an auntie. He'd have so many delightful things and biscuits and treats for you. And he'd carry around... Steve looks like the kind of auntie that would carry around, you know, like, always has dog treats in every coat pocket so they can give your dog a treat. Steve's cute. Stevie's treats. Yeah, exactly.
Your daily dose of internet. This person delivered some food at this house.
Did I say nose nolly? If I said nose nolly out loud, it was an accident. That's not something we call it. A chinwag is definitely something we say. Well, to say we say that often would be a lie, but chinwag is a used term in the UK. It's like a good old chinwag, you know, a good old chat with someone. Nose nolly, I don't know if I said that out loud. I think I might have, and that's not UK slang or like a UK phrase, but if you want it to be, it can be. I already have a famous word on Urban Dictionary now, you know?
House, and then that same person came back a few minutes later and stole the food.
Wait, what? Sorry, am I still watching true crime? What's happening?
Person delivered some... Hello everyone, this is your daily dose of internet. This person delivered some food at this house, and then that same person came back a few minutes later and stole the food.
I thought he was saying stole the phone. Sparkles, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Says my partner is working away this week. I needed some stuff to watch, and this was perfect. Thank you for helping me not feel so lonely. And thank you to chat also. Chat! Can we get some love in the chat, please? That's so wholesome. It's so fun watching things with you guys, because you all get to interact in the chat, and lurkers can just watch the chat and the show. Look at that love. Let's fucking go. A nose nolly it's the same as the chinwag. It's to engage in conversation with each other. So this person delivers food and then comes back and steals it. What a fucking piece of shit. In an orange pellet. What were they wearing before? Bro, you kept the same flip-flops on. Do you know in Australia, you guys know what they call these in Australia? Oh, chat, don't start with the kettle stuff, please. You know what they call these in Australia? They call these thongs. Thongs. The guy kept the same t-shirt and the same thongs on.
Oh my god. Hold on, I have to catch this.
That fucking balaclava really caught me off guard, though.